Welcome to KTA Physics, and this is Lesson 2 on unit conversions. So, unit conversions, that's something that you've probably done before, but just so that we remember how to do it, that's good to do. Now, there's different ways that you can do that, but here is the most simple way to do it. So we're going to see how to convert units by using conversion factors. Now, there's ways of converting units. There's different questions that you might be asked. If it's in the same system, so maybe in the SI system, that would be if you converted kilometers to meters. So that's where you use the thing with like the 10 to the negative second power, things like that. And that is not as much steps if it's in the same system. But if it's in different systems like feet to meters, then it will have multiple steps. And you need to know conversion factor, which is just a formula you use to convert between units, like how there's 12 feet equals, that's supposed to be equals 1 foot. That's what I meant to say. So here are the steps. It's just 6 steps. You need to find the conversion factors that you'll need, set up the spaces for A times B divided by C. I'll explain what that is in a second. So A would be the number that's given, like in number 1 that we're going to deal with in a second, 230. And then B is the conversion factor, the part of the conversion factor in the equation that has different units than A, and then C would be with the same. And then you just type that in the calculator. So let's see what that means. So, let me pull up the formula right here. Hang on a second. So you should be provided with formula to know what to do here. So, since this is in the same system, kilometers to meters, so the conversion factor we need to know is how much kilometers is a meter. Okay? Well, if we look on the table, which I don't have it up here, but you can see that kilo is 10 to the third power. So 10 to the third power. So that how many kilometers are in a meter? And we can see that 1 meter would be 0.001 kilometers, but how do you know that? So we can see that 10 to the third, that would mean 3, so that 3 would mean that you move the decimal place that many. So we start with 1 meter, which is the base unit, and since it's a positive exponent, kilo is a greater value, but it would end up with a smaller answer because of how the units relate. So move it back 3, 1, 2, 3, fill in the zeros, and that's how we got our answer. So you might just be provided with that, but if you only had that thing where it shows something like that, that's how you know what it is. So you just move the decimal. So 0.001 kilometer equals 1 meter. So now we know the conversion factor that we need. So now we can use this right here. So A, I said put the number given, so that would be 230 kilometers. You still want units. And then times, you have the fraction. B is the part with the same unit as A. That means it's that. Or sorry, different actually. So different, that would mean 1 meter. And then C is the one with the same unit. So you put this here. And now we type that into the calculator. 230 times 1 divided by 0.001 equals 230,000. Now, think about it. Does it make sense that our number got bigger? Yes, because kilometers is of a bigger value than meters, which would mean that it has a smaller answer because, or sorry, a bigger answer than what the kilometers was, because since this means something smaller, then that's how they relate. So that's how you would solve it for that one. Now convert 29 nanoseconds to seconds. So we need to know our conversion factor, and this time the conversion factor would be how much nanoseconds are in a second. So nanoseconds, we see nano is 10 to the negative 9th power. That would mean that 1 second, to convert it to nanoseconds, we need to move the decimal 9 places, but to the right, because it's negative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. Sorry about that. So that's 9 places. Fill in the zeros. And then we see that is 1 billion. That's our answer. And so 1 billion nanoseconds equals 1 second. Okay, so now that we see that, we can use the A times B divided by C. So now what we can do is we put 29 nanoseconds here equals different unit on the top, so that would be 1 second. Same unit on the bottom, so that's 1 billion nanoseconds. Now solve. Oh, sorry, that's not supposed to be equals. So 29 times 1 divided by 1 billion. That gives us our answer of 2.9 e to the negative 8th. And that just means this, which as scientific notation, that means that it's such a small number that we can't even write it. So, oh, sorry, that I did something wrong here. That should be a 9, and why is because hang on a second, let me see something here. So there was it's actually 10 billion, because right here we moved the decimal one different than what this is. I forgot to say that. So we actually were supposed to move it 10 spaces, which would mean that it's 10 billion, which would change our answer to this. And that makes sense because this is what we saw here already, and 2.929. So sorry that if this video is a little bit confusing. Please feel free to ask questions in the comments if you don't understand. Alright, these ones, in my opinion, are a little bit easier. 292 inches to feet. So, we need to know our conversion factor. Luckily, I know that off the top of my head. 12 inches equals 1 foot. So we put 292 inches here. Same, different unit on the top, Same unit on the bottom. We should get a smaller number because feet is a bigger value. 1 divided by 12. And we did get a smaller number. That would be 24.3 feet. Good. 24 inches to meters. Now let's do this one. But this time we'll have to have multiple steps because there's not, I mean, technically you could be told how many inches are in a meter, but you might want to do this. So 12 inches equals 1 foot, and then 1 foot equals 3.8 or 28 meters. Let me verify that. How many meters in second, just to make sure we're doing the right thing. Or sorry, feet. How many feet in a meter? That's what I should have said. How many feet in a meter? It is 3.28, but that's flipped around. So let's try that again. 3.28 feet equals 1 meter. That's better. So now let's see this process. And the reason why you do it like this is because it would be more helpful when there's one of the parts of the equation is 1, but doesn't necessarily have to be. So let's start out with 24 inches, which is what we had. We're converting it to feet first. You probably already know 2 feet, but just to show you how you would do it. Sometimes I accidentally put an equal sign. Okay, different unit on top, same unit on the bottom. So that means 24 times 1/12, which is 2. You might have already known that though, but that's okay. So now we take that 2 feet and then we multiply it by a different unit on top, 1 meter, same unit on the bottom, 3.28 feet. That would mean 2 times 1 divided by 3.28, which is 0.6 meters. So that's our answer. And remember, always have units. So 24 inches is 0.6 meters. So that's good. So to review, remember, it's a little bit more simple to do what we did in 3 and 4. For 1 and 2, remember, when you might be given the actual conversion factor, or you might just have this, and you move the decimal 1 different than that, what that is. And so that's what you do. So, and because it was a 9, it was a 10 instead. Because when it's negative, that's what it's like. So that'll be it for this video. Hopefully this helped. So see you on the next one.